Hey everyone, buckle up because today we're diving headfirst into the world of AI. And get this, we're talking about a framework that lets you build amazing AI solutions, even if, you're not exactly a coding genius.
Yeah, you don't have to be a tech wizard. It's pretty amazing, actually. In 2025, this guy, Ricardo Guerrero Pina, he's a Microsoft MVP for Power Apps, basically, a total rock star in the Microsoft world. He created this framework called A.L.I.A.S.
A.L.I.A.S, okay, I'm listening.
It stands for Advanced Low-Code Integrated AI Solutions.
Low code. So you're telling me this isn't just for the hardcore coders out there?
Nope, not at all. The whole idea is to make AI development something anyone can do, no matter what your coding skills are like. Alias streamlines the whole process of building AI stuff using Microsoft's Copilot Studio.
Okay, now you've got my attention. Break it down for me. What's this Alias framework all about? Where do we even start?
So Alias takes you through 7 phases. But here's the thing. It's not like a rigid step-by-step process. Think of it more like a cycle, a roadmap. It guides you from that initial, hey, I've got an idea moment, all the way to a real, working, intelligent AI solution.
So it's not like you just set it up and forget about it. It sounds like you're constantly tweaking and improving the AI as you go.
You got it. You begin by figuring out exactly what problem you're trying to solve. Then you design the solution, you develop it, configure it, and then comes the fun part, testing it and iterating based on what you learn.
Makes sense. After all, AI is all about learning and adapting, right? So the way we build it should be the same. But I'm curious, with AI changing so fast these days, why is this Alias framework so important right now?
That's a good question. I mean, think about it, right? AI is evolving at an insane pace. New things are popping up all the time. Honestly, it can be hard to keep up. Alias is like this guide to help you not just survive, but thrive in this crazy AI world.
So it's about staying ahead of the curve, making sure we can use the latest and greatest AI stuff to actually solve real problems.
Exactly. But it goes beyond just the tech, too. Alias is about getting organizations ready for AI. It helps companies go from like small-scale AI experiments to using AI across the whole company.
Okay, I see the bigger picture now. But let's be real. Building a really solid AI solution sounds like a massive project. Are we talking a one-person show here, or do we need a whole team of experts?
Oh yeah, building something really impactful with AI definitely takes a team. And Alias knows that. It lays out specific roles, each with their own skills and responsibilities, like a well-coordinated AI crew.
Speaking of the teams, when I was looking through the Alias document, I saw some pretty interesting roles. You've got your business analyst, your architect. Wait a minute, what in the world is a conversational strategy consultant? That sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
I know, right? It does sound kind of futuristic. But basically, they make sure that the AI solution actually solves the right problems and that it works for the people who'll be using it. They're all about making the AI engaging and intuitive, not just functional.
So they're like the bridge between the techie side of things and us humans, making sure the AI we build is actually useful and makes life better.
Cool. And what about the AI engineer? That sounds super technical.
Yeah, the AI engineer is definitely the technical powerhouse. They're the ones optimizing those AI models, making them smarter, more efficient, and better at learning from new data, fine-tuning all those algorithms.
All right, so we've got our AI dream team guided by this Alias framework. But how does this all fit into a company that's already up and running? I stumbled across some info about Microsoft's delivery models for AI, like centralized, decentralized, matrix. To be honest, it was a little confusing.
I get it, it can be a bit much at first. Basically, these models are just different ways to implement AI solutions within a company, and they each have their pros and cons. So it's like different management styles for AI projects. Can you break down what each one actually looks like in the real world?
Sure, let's say we're a big online store. With a centralized model, you might have one team dedicated to AI. They'd be developing things like chatbots for customer service across all the different departments, ensuring everything's consistent and under control.
So one main team, one chatbot solution for the whole company. I guess that makes sense to maintain a consistent voice and avoid doing the same work twice.
Right, but then you have the decentralized model. In this case, each department, like marketing or sales, would have the freedom to create their own AI tools, specific to what they need.
So marketing could have an AI that analyzes trends and generates content for social media, while sales has one that predicts customer behavior and recommends products.
Yeah.
More freedom, but maybe not as much consistency across the board.
Exactly, and that's where the matrix model comes in, trying to find a happy medium. You might have a main AI team providing resources and setting guidelines, but each department still has the freedom to adapt those solutions to their own way of working.
So like a central AI hub, with each department having its own branch, getting guidance, but still free to do their own thing.
That's a great way to put it. And the cool thing about Alias is that it works with any of these models. It's flexible enough to fit the way any organization is structured and what their needs are.
Now that's impressive. It's like A.L.I.A.S is the universal language of AI development, making that complex tech work in the real world.
That's what it's designed for, to empower anyone to use the power of AI. Doesn't matter how their organization is set up or how much technical experience they have.
Looking at this ciclo de vida del framework A.L.I.A.S diagram, it really shows that building an AI solution is a journey, not just a destination.
Oh, absolutely. It's a continuous cycle, learning, refining, evolving. And those puntos de revision, those checkpoints in the diagram, they're super important to keep the project on track.
Like pit stops during a race,
Yeah.
right? Making sure everything's running smoothly before you speed off to the next stage.
Exactly. These checkpoints make sure each phase is wrapped up successfully so you can catch any potential problems before moving on. And you'll notice that the people involved at each stage change, too. The team composition shifts depending on what that particular phase needs.
So it's all about having the right people in the right roles at the right time.
That's it. A.L.I.A.S really emphasizes communication and collaboration throughout the process. They're essential for success. It really gets you thinking about all the possibilities, doesn't it? That's what's so great about A.L.I.A.S. It gives you that step-by-step guidance. So you're not just, wandering around lost in the AI world. It all starts with that identification phase.
Okay, back to the basics. What exactly goes down in this identification phase? Are we talking like brainstorming those crazy revolutionary AI ideas?
It's a little more structured than just brainstorming. This is where you really set the foundation. You've got to define the problem you're tackling, figure out who your audience is, and set some goals. Like, what do you actually want to achieve with this AI solution?
So it's not just about building something cool, because you can. It's about finding a real problem and figuring out how AI can be the solution.
You got it. And that's why collaboration is so important in this phase. A.L.I.A.S really stresses getting everyone involved, bringing different points of view to the table.
So you might have people from marketing, sales, customer service, IT, all working together to figure out what the problem is and brainstorming solutions.
Exactly. And the document talks about certain roles that are crucial in this phase. Like the business analysts, they're the ones gathering all the requirements and figuring out how the business processes work.
Got it. So we've got our team, we know the problem, and we have some idea of what we want our AI to do. What's next? Do we just jump into the coding?
Hold your horses. Not yet. We need to move into the diseño, the design phase. This is where we start getting into the details, taking that AI solution from just an idea to an actual blueprint.
Ah, so this is where things start getting concrete. What kind of design stuff are we talking about here?
Well, think about how people are going to interact with this AI. What's the experience going to be like? Will it be a chatbot, a voice assistant, or something else entirely?
Yeah, that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And are we going for a friendly and conversational tone or something more professional and to the point?
You hit the nail on the head. This is where that conversational strategy consultant we mentioned earlier comes in. They're the ones who make sure the AI's personality and communication style match the brand and who it's talking to.
That makes sense. You wouldn't want your AI using super formal language if you're trying to connect with a younger crowd.
Right. And it's not just about the words. In this phase, you'll also be mapping out the whole conversational flow, like creating diagrams that show how the AI will respond to different things and navigate different scenarios.
So it's kind of like creating a choose-your-own-adventure for the AI, making sure the user experience is smooth and engaging.
I like that analogy. And remember, this design phase is all about trying things out and making changes as you go. You'll probably go back and forth a lot, tweaking the conversational flow and the interface until it all works perfectly.
Okay, so we've identified the problem, designed the solution. Now it's time to make this AI thing a reality, right? That's where the Decerolo and configuration phase comes in.
You got it. This is where we get into the nuts and bolts, the technical side of things. The makers de agentes will be using Copilot Studio to build the actual AI, setting up its features and figuring out those crucial responses.
Okay, this is where the real coding magic happens. Are we talking lines and lines of code that would make my head spin?
That's the great thing about Copilot Studio and A.L.I.A.S. It's all about low-code development. You can build powerful AI solutions without having to be a coding wizard.
Now that's music to my ears. So even someone like me who's more comfortable with words than code could potentially build an AI using Alias.
Absolutely. Copilot Studio uses this visual drag-and-drop interface, making it super easy to build conversational flows and set up AI responses. Of course, some technical knowledge helps, but it's way easier than starting from scratch.
That's pretty awesome. So the agent makers are building the AI, but they're not working in isolation, are they? Other key players are involved in this phase as well, right?
You're right. You've also got the data maker setting up the data architecture. That's about making sure the AI has all the information it needs to work properly.
Right, because even the most sophisticated AI is useless without data, right? What about the pro-code dev? That's where the serious coding comes in, I'm guessing.
If needed, yeah. The pro-code dev is called in for those really specific requirements that the low-code tools can't quite handle. They might build custom things to connect the AI to other systems.
So they're like the special forces of AI development brought in for the really tough missions.
That's a great way to put it. And of course, throughout this whole development process, you've got the architects keeping an eye on everything, making sure the technical side stays true to the design and those initial goals.
Got it. So we've identified the problem, designed our amazing solution, and built our AI. Are we ready to unleash it on the world?
Whoa there, not so fast. Remember those checkpoints we talked about? This is where we hit a big one. Before we launch anything, we need to test it thoroughly.
Right. Even the best plans can go wrong, and we definitely don't want our AI making a fool of itself in front of real users.
Exactly. The proof and iteration phase is all about finding those bugs, fine-tuning the AI's responses, and making sure it meets those expectations we set way back in the beginning.
So who's in charge during this phase? Back to the agent makers.
They're still involved, for sure, but this is where the client or the end users really become important. They're the ones who'll be using the AI, so they need to test it, give feedback, and let us know what needs tweaking.
Ah, so it's like a beta testing phase, getting real people to try it out and tell us what they think.
That's the idea. Their feedback is crucial to making sure the AI actually works for them. And remember, testing isn't a one-time thing. It's an ongoing process that keeps going even after the AI is out in the world.
Because in the world of AI, there's always room for improvement. Plus, things change constantly, so our solutions need to be able to change too.
You nailed it. Adaptability is key. And that brings us to Displeag, the deployment phase. This is where we take our carefully tested and refined AI and make it available to everyone it's meant for.
Showtime. So who makes sure this deployment goes smoothly?
The Power Platform Administrator takes the lead here. They handle the technical side, making sure the AI integrates well with existing systems and all the permissions are in place.
So they're like the stage manager, making sure everything's set for opening night.
Love the analogy. And of course, the agent makers and the architect are still there, providing support and making last-minute tweaks if needed.
Okay, our AI is live. It's out there interacting with people. What happens next? Do we just sit back and watch it do its thing?
We want to see it in action, for sure, but we can't just let it loose and forget about it. The next phase is monitorio and optimization continua, monitoring and continuous optimization.
Right. It's like launching a rocket. You don't just fire it off and hope for the best. You need to track it and make adjustments along the way.
Exactly. Monitoring means collecting data on how the AI is performing, spotting any issues, and making changes in real time. And optimization. Well, that's about constantly tweaking those algorithms, fine-tuning responses, and keeping the AI running at its best.
So who are the key players in this phase? Is the whole dream team back?
Teamwork is still super important, but certain roles take the lead here. The Power Platform Administrator will be watching the AI's technical performance, making sure everything's running smoothly and fixing any technical glitches.
Yeah, I got to make sure our AI isn't crashing or anything, especially not in front of users.
Right. And then you've got the AI engineer. They'll be analyzing all the data coming in from the AI's interactions with people, looking for ways to make it better.
So this is where we get the real nitty-gritty details about how the AI is performing out in the wild. Are people finding it helpful? Are they engaging with it the way we expected?
Exactly. The AI engineer is looking for patterns in the data, trying to figure out where the AI could be improved. They're constantly tweaking the algorithms to optimize its performance, helping the AI learn and grow.
Like the AI's personal trainer, pushing it to be stronger and more effective over time.
I love that. And let's not forget the conversational strategy consultant. They'll be looking at the AI's interactions from a user experience point of view, making sure the AI's communication is still on point and that the conversational flow is smooth.
Got it. So we've got the technical people watching the performance side of things, and we've got the user experience experts making sure the AI is still helpful and engaging. But what about the bigger picture? How does Alias deal with those long-term strategic considerations for AI within a company?
That's where the final phase comes in. A scalabilidad and gobernanza, scalability and governance. It's all about making sure our AI solution can grow and adapt alongside the organization while sticking to those important ethical guidelines and best practices.
So we're not just building an AI solution for today, we're building a foundation for the future of AI in our organization. We're thinking big.
Exactly. And this is where the architect steps up to the plate, coming up with a strategy to scale the AI solution to other departments or uses, making sure it can grow without any problems.
So we might start with an AI-powered chatbot for customer service, but then expand it to handle internal HR stuff, help with sales and marketing tasks, even personalized product recommendations. The possibilities are pretty mind-blowing.
You're getting it. And the Power Platform Administrator is crucial here too, making sure that scaling up happens smoothly and securely without sacrificing performance.
Because we don't want our AI becoming a bottleneck as it grows. But scalability is only one part of the equation. What about the governance part? Why is that so important in this final phase?
Governance is about responsible AI, making sure it's used ethically and in a way that lines up with the organization's values. We need to have those clear guidelines and policies to prevent any unintended consequences.
So it's not just about what the AI can do, but what it should do. As AI gets more powerful and becomes a bigger part of our lives, we need to be careful about its impact on people and society.
Couldn't agree more. A.L.I.A.S encourages getting people from different departments involved, including legal and compliance folks, to develop a solid governance framework. It's a team effort, making sure ethical concerns are considered every step of the way.
It's not just a tech issue, it's a human issue.
Mm.
We need to think about the bigger picture and make sure AI is used to make a positive impact.
Well said. That's what makes A.L.I.A.S such a valuable tool. It's not just a technical guide for building AI solutions. It's a framework for responsible and ethical development.
Wow, we've covered so much ground already. From the nitty-gritty details of each phase to the broader implications of AI adoption. It's amazing how A.L.I.A.S provides a complete framework for navigating this complex world.
It's a pretty impressive framework, detailed and adaptable, recognizing that every AI project is different and might need a unique approach. It's like having an experienced guide leading you through the AI wilderness.
And it's all built around collaboration and diverse perspectives. It's not just about having a bunch of brilliant AI engineers. It's about bringing together people with different skills and backgrounds to create a truly effective and beneficial AI solution.
And that's probably the most important takeaway. Building successful AI solutions isn't just about mastering the technology, it's about understanding those human needs and goals that drive its development in the first place. It's about using AI to make a positive impact.
It's about using AI to solve real problems, help people, and create a better future for everyone.
Well said. As you continue learning about A.L.I.A.S and the world of AI, keep that human-centric perspective at the forefront. It's what will guide you to build truly impactful solutions.
Now, before we wrap up this section on the phases, I want to focus on something that really caught my eye in the document. The Ciclo de Vida del Framework A.L.I.A.S diagram. It's like a visual representation of everything we've been talking about.
It's a powerful visual, isn't it? It shows the entire journey of an AI solution from beginning to end and highlights those key checkpoints and the roles involved at each stage.
I'm a visual learner, so this diagram is super helpful. Can we walk through it together, paying attention to those checkpoints and the roles involved?
Absolutely. Let's dive in and see how A.L.I.A.S visually guides us through this exciting world of AI development.
Okay, let's start with the first phase. Identificar, or identify. This is where it all begins, right?
Yeah.
We define the problem, figure out our target audience, and lay out the goals for our AI solution. The diagram shows us that the business analyst, who's gathering those requirements, and the conversational strategy consultant, who's making sure our AI solution matches the brand and the target audience, are the key players in this phase.
And notice that first checkpoint, kickoff. It's about making sure everyone's on the same page, aligned on the goals, with clearly defined roles and responsibilities. It sets the stage for a successful collaboration.
It's like that crucial team huddle before a big game. Everyone gets on the same page and ready to tackle the challenge.
Exactly. Once we're through that kickoff checkpoint, we move on to diseñar, the design phase.
This is where we go from a basic idea to a solid plan. We work out the design details, think about the user experience, map out the conversational flow, and create a blueprint for how our AI will interact. The diagram highlights the agent makers as the primary drivers here, collaborating with the conversational strategy consultant to get that AI personality and communication style just right.
And here's our second checkpoint. Go live. This is a moment to step back, review the design, ensure it matches those initial goals, and address any potential issues before we move on to development.
Like a final dress rehearsal before the big premiere, making sure our AI is ready to shine.
Exactly. Once we've cleared that go-live checkpoint, it's time to get our hands dirty and start building. Decentralized, the develop phase, is where the technical magic happens.
This is where our agent makers, using Copilot Studio, bring the AI to life. They set up its features and define its responses. We also have the data makers setting up the data architecture, ensuring the AI has all the information it needs to function, and our pro-code dev is on standby for those super specific, complex tasks.
And the diagram reminds us that the architect is overseeing this whole development process, making sure all the technical elements align with the overall vision.
Like the conductor of an orchestra, making sure all the instruments are playing in harmony.
Love that. And once development is done, we hit another critical checkpoint, go-live readiness checks.
Time to really put the AI through its paces. We've got to make sure it's working as expected, eliminate any bugs, and ensure it's ready to interact with real users.
Right. The client and end users are super important at this stage. Their feedback helps us refine the AI and make sure it's genuinely meeting their needs.
It's like a test audience for a new play. Their reactions are crucial for making final adjustments before the big opening night.
And once we've successfully navigated those go-live readiness checks, it's launch time. The displegar, or deploy phase, is where we finally release our AI solution to the world.
The moment of truth. Our Power Platform Administrator takes center stage, managing the technical aspects of the deployment, ensuring seamless integration with the organization's systems.
They're the ones making sure our AI gets a standing ovation. And once the AI is live and interacting with users, we move on to the observer, or observe phase.
This is where we keep a watchful eye on our AI, making sure it's performing well and addressing any issues that might pop up.
You got it. The diagram shows us who's in charge here. The Power Platform Administrator monitoring the technical performance, the AI engineer analyzing data and optimizing the algorithms, and the conversational strategy consultant ensuring the AI is still communicating effectively and engagingly.
It's amazing how these different roles all come together to support the AI throughout its life cycle. It truly takes a village.
Absolutely. And finally, we arrive at the last phase, governar, or govern. This is where we shift gears and think about the long-term strategy for our AI solution, making sure it can grow and evolve alongside the organization.
So we're talking about scalability, making sure the AI can grow without limits, and governance, ensuring it's used ethically and responsibly.
And precisely. The architect takes the lead here, developing that strategy to scale the AI solution to other departments and uses. And the Power Platform Administrator works right alongside them, making sure that scaling up happens securely and efficiently.
It's all about finding that balance between growth and responsibility, making sure the AI aligns with the organization's values as it develops.
Exactly. This diagram beautifully shows the cyclical nature of AI development with A.L.I.A.S. It's an ongoing process of learning, adapting, and improving, ensuring that our AI solutions are not just innovative, but ethical and sustainable.
I love how this diagram visually captures the journey of an AI solution. It's like a roadmap, showing us how each stage, the different roles and checkpoints all work together for success.
It's a powerful tool for understanding the A.L.I.A.S framework, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's like a cheat sheet for navigating the exciting but sometimes complex world of AI development.
And it really highlights that building successful AI solutions isn't just about the tech itself. It's about collaboration, different perspectives, and ensuring our solutions are both innovative and ethical.
Speaking of those different perspectives, we've talked a lot about the roles in the A.L.I.A.S framework, but there are a couple I think deserve a closer look. One that really caught my eye was the conversational strategy consultant. It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
It might sound futuristic, but it's a role that's becoming more and more important as AI becomes a bigger part of our lives.
So what exactly does a conversational strategy consultant do? What's their superpower in AI development?
Think about it. We're building AI solutions that interact with humans, right? Whether it's a chatbot answering questions, a virtual assistant scheduling meetings, or a voice-activated system controlling our homes. The way the AI communicates is crucial.
Makes sense. We don't want our AI sounding like a robot or using jargon nobody understand. We want it to feel natural and engaging, easy to understand.
Exactly. That's where our conversational strategy consultant comes in. They're experts in how humans communicate, understanding the nuances of language and tone, and how to create those positive and engaging user experiences.
So they're like AI whisperers,
Mm.
teaching AI the art of conversation.
Love that. But it's more than just teaching AI to be polite. They also need to make sure that the way the AI communicates matches the brand's voice and values.
Because ultimately, the AI is representing the brand, right?
Right.
Its communication needs to reflect the brand's personality and resonate with its target audience.
Exactly. So the conversational strategy consultant works closely with the agent makers, the designers, everyone to make sure the AI's personality, tone, and overall communication strategy hit the mark.
Like a stylist for the AI, making sure it looks and sounds the part.
You got it. And they're involved throughout the entire process, testing the AI's responses, monitoring its interactions, making sure the communication stays effective and engaging as the AI evolves.
It sounds like a fascinating role, blending creativity, psychology, and a deep understanding of AI, like being a language architect for the future.
It's definitely a hot job these days with AI everywhere. And speaking of fascinating roles, there's another one that's essential to AI projects, the AI engineer.
Okay, now that sounds super technical. I'm picturing someone surrounded by screens, writing complex algorithms, and speaking in binary code.
Well, there's definitely a lot of technical expertise involved, but it's also a role that requires a ton of creativity and ingenuity.
So it's not just about crunching numbers and writing code. It's about problem solving and coming up with innovative solutions.
Precisely. The AI engineer is responsible for the core of the AI solution, those complex algorithms that power its intelligence and ability to learn.
So they're like the architects of the AI's brain, building the neural networks that allow it to think, learn, and adapt.
That's a great analogy. It requires a deep understanding of machine learning, data science, and how AI systems actually work.
It sounds like a very specialized field, constantly changing as AI technology advances. What kind of skills do you need to become an AI engineer?
A strong background in math and statistics is essential. You need to be comfortable working with those complex algorithms and understand how data is used to train AI models.
Because AI is all about learning from data, right? Finding those hidden patterns and using that information to make predictions and decisions.
Exactly. And of course, programming skills are essential. AI engineers use languages like Python and R to build those AI models. But it's not all about technical skills.
There's a human side to it too, right? You need to be able to understand the real world problem you're trying to solve and design an AI solution that actually works for people.
Absolutely. The most successful AI engineers are the ones who can bridge that gap between the technical and the human. They see the potential of AI to make a positive impact on the world.
So it's a role that combines technical brilliance with a sense of responsibility.
You got it. That's what makes it such a fulfilling and exciting field. It's not just about building smart machines, it's about using AI to make the world better.
It's incredible to think about the impact AI is having on so many industries, from healthcare and finance to transportation and education. And with frameworks like A.L.I.A.S making AI development more accessible, we're likely to see even more amazing things in the future.
Absolutely. The possibilities are endless. And that brings me to something that's often overlooked in all the excitement around AI organizational readiness.
Okay, I'm all ears. What do you mean by organizational readiness?
It's one thing to have a great framework like Alias and access to the latest AI technology, but it's another thing entirely for an organization to be ready to embrace and actually implement those AI solutions effectively.
Right, because AI isn't just about installing some new software and expecting everything to magically change. It takes a change in mindset, a willingness to adapt, and collaboration across different departments.
Exactly. It's about creating a culture that welcomes innovation and sees AI as a valuable tool for reaching those strategic goals.
So it's more than just building cool tech. It's about changing the way the whole organization works and getting it ready for a future where AI is a key player.
Precisely. And Alias helps guide that transformation. It helps organizations figure out where they stand with AI, pinpoint areas to improve, and develop a plan for AI adoption.
Like a roadmap for navigating the AI landscape, helping companies avoid common pitfalls and increase their chances of success.
Great analogy. And one of the key aspects of organizational readiness that Alias addresses is the delivery model. We touched on this before, but it's worth taking a closer look because it plays such a big role in how AI solutions are implemented and managed within a company.
Right, we talked about those three models: centralized, decentralized, and matrix. Can you remind me why that choice is so important? How does it affect the success of an AI project?
Well, the delivery model basically determines how AI development is structured and managed. It influences who makes the decisions, how resources are used, and how different teams work together on AI projects.
So it's not just about picking a model and crossing your fingers. It's about understanding the strengths and weaknesses of each one and choosing the model that fits best with the company's culture, goals, and existing structure.
Exactly. And A.L.I.A.S provides guidance to help organizations evaluate those pros and cons and choose the best model for them.
Well, so let's break down those three models and see how they work with A.L.I.A.S. What are the key characteristics of this centralized model?
So with the centralized model, you've got one core AI team. They handle everything, setting the standards, developing the frameworks, managing resources for all the AI projects across the entire organization.
So it's like having an AI headquarters, a center of excellence where all the AI magic happens.
Exactly. It's all about concentrating that AI expertise. And this approach has its advantages for sure. You get more control over how AI is developed, you ensure those solutions are high quality, and you avoid duplicate work. Efficiency is key.
Yeah, that makes sense, especially for big companies dealing with sensitive data or applications where accuracy and security are really important.
You're right on the money. But even with its benefits, the centralized model has a couple of potential downsides. Sometimes it can be a bit inflexible. Individual departments might have to wait for that central team to address their needs. Could create a bottleneck.
So it's a trade-off, control versus agility. A centralized model might be good for organizations that need that top-down approach and standardization, but maybe not so great for those that need to move fast and be flexible.
Exactly. That's where the decentralized model steps in. It gives each department or business unit the freedom to develop and manage their own AI solutions.
So it's about empowering those individual teams to own their AI projects, tailoring solutions to their specific needs and how they work.
You got it. This approach can lead to faster innovation since teams can move quickly and experiment without jumping through hoops. It also allows for more specialization, as each team can really focus on AI solutions that solve their unique challenges.
I see how that would be a huge advantage for companies that need to adapt quickly to, say, market changes. But what are the downsides of going decentralized?
Well, one challenge is that you might end up with a bit of a messy AI landscape. Different teams might be using different tools, different approaches, even different data sets. It can be tough to share knowledge and resources and make sure everything is consistent.
So you might have a situation where marketing's AI is speaking a totally different language than the customer service AI.
Yeah.
That could be confusing for users.
Right. And without a central team in charge, there might be inconsistencies in the quality and reliability of those AI solutions. That could cause problems down the line.
Okay, so decentralized has its pros and cons, just like centralized. And then we have the matrix model, which, if I remember correctly, is about finding that middle ground.
Exactly. The matrix model tries to combine the best of both worlds, the control and consistency of centralized with the flexibility and speed of decentralized.
All right, now I'm really interested. How does this matrix model work in the real world?
Okay, imagine this. You have a central AI team providing guidance, setting standards, managing those core resources. Think of them as your AI advisors, but those individual departments still have the freedom to build and implement their own AI solutions, customizing them to their own needs.
So it's like having a central AI hub with spokes connecting to each department. They get support and guidance, but can still innovate on their own.
Perfect visualization.
Yeah.
And what's really cool is that A.L.I.A.S is flexible enough to work with any of these models. It provides the framework and the tools to succeed with AI, whether you're a giant company with a central AI powerhouse or a smaller company taking a more decentralized approach.
A.L.I.A.S is pretty impressive. It really seems like it was designed to meet the needs of any organization, big or small, no matter how experienced they are with AI.
That's one of the things that makes it so powerful for driving AI adoption. But beyond its flexibility, there's another key strength of A.L.I.A.S. It's all about generative AI.
Okay, you've got my attention again. We've mentioned generative AI a couple of times, but I'd love to hear more. What is it exactly, and why is it such a big deal?
Generative AI is all about AI that can create new content. This could be anything from writing marketing copy, creating realistic images, composing music, even writing computer code.
Wow, AI that can actually create. That's amazing. It's not just analyzing data or making predictions. It's making something completely new.
Exactly. That's what makes it so powerful. Think about it. AI that helps you design products, write stories, even personalize learning. It's like having a creative partner who never runs out of ideas.
I can see how that would change things for so many industries. But how does this all tie back to Alias?
A.L.I.A.S was built to take advantage of Microsoft's Copilot Studio. It's one of the best platforms for developing generative AI. They work perfectly together. A strong framework and cutting-edge tools to bring those creative AI ideas to life.
So Alias and Copilot Studio are like the dream team of AI development, giving everyone the power to create those next-level AI solutions.
That's a great way to put it. And that focus on generative AI is what makes A.L.I.A.S so relevant right now. It's not just keeping pace with AI, it's pushing the boundaries.
Yep.
It helps companies develop really innovative solutions.
It feels like we're at the beginning of a whole new era for AI, one where it's not just about automating tasks, but about unlocking creativity and what's possible.
I totally agree. And with frameworks like Alias making these powerful tools more accessible, the future of AI looks incredibly exciting. The possibilities are truly limitless.
This has been an incredible deep dive. We've explored Alias from top to bottom, from those initial sparks of inspiration to the strategic side of using AI in organizations. We've seen the key phases, the roles that make it all happen, and even peeked into the world of generative AI.
It's been quite a journey. I hope you feel ready to explore the power of Alias and the potential of AI for yourself.
I'm definitely feeling inspired. Alias seems like an incredible tool for anyone who wants to use AI, whether you're a coding pro or just starting out.
And as you start your AI journey, remember what we've talked about today. Embrace Alias, stay curious, keep learning, and use AI for good. The future of AI is in our hands. We can create a world where AI helps us achieve amazing things.
Beautifully said. This has been an inspiring look into the world of AI development. To our listeners, we encourage you to explore the source material, the Framework Alias Podcast.pdf document. It was created by Ricardo Guerrero-Pina, the Microsoft MVP who's shaping the future of AI.
And as you explore Alias, we leave you with one last thought. What AI solution would you build if you had the power of Alias? Let your imagination run wild. Remember, the future is what we make it.
Until next time, keep innovating, keep exploring, and keep pushing the boundaries.